Welcome back, everybody. It's 7 o'clock on the 7th of March. That would be a Friday. This is episode 70. It's kind of hard to believe that we're closing in fast on live stream 100. So yeah, there it is. Welcome, my name is Drift Johnson. This is 5 Below 5 UK, and we are doing our daily 7 PM UK time Latent Space Live. And so what are we looking at today? We're going to be looking at i2v, so Hunyuan video. And it's finally released the official image prompt to video weights. And so that's currently what we're running. I'm also going to be running i2v in Q8. All of the new workflows I've released today are in i2v Q8. You can already get normal workflows that don't use i2v. And these come in Q8, which I recommend if you've got the size. Q5 KM if you have a 12 GPU, and Q4 KM if you have an 8GB GPU. It should just about fit. It will be very slow, but it will just about fit. You can also try just normal Q4, which might fit better on an 8GB. Okay, hello to Tigrail and Kirk Curtis. Thank you so much for joining. Hello to everybody else who is watching right now, whether you're live or if you're watching later. And don't forget, the Discord link is in the description. And as you can see, I've got some that I made earlier. So let's just take a quick look at some of those. There's one. There's another one. That one came out really well. They're both Star Citizen. These are using my Genesis model, which is all crazy fractal stuff. And we're going to have a bit of fun with this, because we're still running test videos. The best ones will end up in the demo gallery. So you can find me on civitai.com/user/driftjohnson. And let's take a look at the new stuff. So first of all, we've got XODA Zoda, which is the LTXV video pack that I make. V8 came out yesterday. There is a new folder, 095, okay? And inside there you'll find the 095 workflows that we were looking at the other day. Interestingly, you can do a loop, like, you know, start image, end image, but you can also have a middle image, which makes loops even easier than they've ever been. These aren't the best. These are some of my early test video results, but they're pretty good. They came out okay. But we're not talking about LTXV today. We are talking about Hunyuan video. So there is a new article. We'll do a video on this in a short while. I'm just going to basically run through all of this stuff. But what I've shown here is the size of the Q4s, the Q5s, the Q8s. I would recommend the i2vs because they're going to be friendlier to lower GPU system. Also, you've got the initial workflows. These are going to be in the pack. Well, wait, no, these are already in the pack. We're looking at that in a second. So there's image to video, image prompt to video, which uses my dataset random loader. And then also i2v QuenVL prompt. So obviously QuenVL. So there's your 3 image to video solutions out the box. Obviously, using this one, you could pre-Quen a bunch of images and then put them in pairs. And the advantage of having an image prompt system is it puts out the prompt for the image it selects, and you can filter the prompt. So that means you've got essentially image filtering built in. Okay. Right. So blacklist words that are in the prompt, and then you won't get that image. It'll pick a different image, and then there you go. So that's all I had to say about that. Moving on. Now, this is pictures of my dog. And to be honest, they're pretty legit. The animation is a little bit shaky, like her ear is flapping more than it should, okay? These ears are meaty, they don't move. But as you can see, that's a different take on the next shot. We tried some abstract stuff. Okay, I also tried upping the steps to 30, and it gives a weird pattern, so I don't recommend that. And as I said, I'm in the middle of making more demo images right now. Okay, so let's take a quick look at them. Let's see. We want to go type. I'm going to go all 56. So it looks like it's... Oh, I get what's happening. It's not got all of them yet. Oh, right. So this is way too big, all right? Bear in mind, we've blown it up way too big, but that's okay. So this isn't upscaled to the res that you're looking at, so you'll be able to see the pixels. This is probably one of the last ones I made. Okay. Oh, really? Yeah, it's probably a Bordeaux Mastiff. They're beautiful dogs. 100 kilos of fun if you feed them well. Probably more like 70 if you like put them on a diet. But can you deny Woofer its food? So obviously we have blown this up so you can see, you know, whether it's good or not, okay? And we're going to go through a bunch of my data sets to see what happens when you literally just feed it data set. Oh, okay, no, it's fine. That's my favorite one so far. And that one. I like that one a lot. That's really cool. And that one just got made. And it's very good. All right. I have the information. Okay, so a couple of these are going to go up because they're real nice. Hello, Electrolab. Welcome, welcome. I didn't actually say hello to you. I just kind of responded to what you said. So, update. Getting started with i2v. That'll take you to the article we looked at, and it explains what you need, where to put it, the clip vision model, and then refer to my earlier article if you need to grab, you know, all of the other old stuff. All right. But to be honest, I think that's all you need there. Right. I suppose I'll wait until I'm not generating before we do that. Oh yes, the Laura fractals. Yes, it came out real nice. I'm actually thinking, because I've put in a whole bunch of random stuff here, and actually I think that maybe we're just gonna delete the tasks and go back to that, because it was a good one, that was. Where is it? Genesis Flux. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all having a good Friday night. The weekend is almost upon us. Couple of things we're going to be messing around with tonight, so look forward to that. Some of it's in the title, some of it's not, like always. I would like to point out that, and I will mention it when I do the video in a bit, but basically it's like this. What's the name of it? How do I explain it? You can train Lauras on this model as well. I don't know if they're cross-compatible. My thought is that they're not, but I don't know. Because you've got two different models, one for text to image, one for image to image, image to video rather. One for text to video, one for image to video. So I'm thinking, if you have to train Lauras, you know what I mean? They would have just said train Lauras on the other model. So we'll try loading a Laura, but I bet you it doesn't work. Which basically means if you want to do image to image, you got to train an image to image Laura, which is a new one. Up until now, it's always been like, you know, a text to image. A Laura works on both, right? But maybe with video it's different. I don't know. We're gonna give it a go. If it breaks, we have our answer. So let's get busy. So this one, there's a couple of things that I need to try out here. Okay, so obviously what we're doing is we're putting an image into start image, and we're also putting an image into clip vision, right? And that got me thinking, is the music actually died? It's not just me being dramatic, it's just stopped playing. Hang on. There you go. It's back. I don't know. Maybe it was just on for too long. So, anyway, yeah, it gave me a thought, right? So, let's see. We're going to have to do something a bit strange here. And I don't know if it'll work, but I think it'll be worth doing. So, like, if I just take another one of these, because it's easy to do. Same group of in more obvious if I did it with fashion. Let's do it with fashion, because it's like, most of them are like a person. So I'll say super fash, right? Drag this down, put that in. Now, this is important. Must be exactly the same, right? Stop trolling. There we go. Right. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to do here. So if we make an image batch, we can go one, because remember it's an IP adapter, right? So what I want to test is, can we put more than one image in? Because with other IP adapters you can. So I'm going to say crop center, which should help if they're different sizes. I don't know what they could be, different sizes, right? But we've got one image and we've got the next image, because we'll be able to see what the previews are in a minute. In fact, I'll just queue it. No, wait, let's not queue it up just yet. Do we want to do a third image? Usually I put 4 images into an IP adapter, see? And I usually do it with this method. So you make a batch and just kind of throw it in there, really. So let's just go for the next one and then the next one. So that's the 4 images in sequence from this folder. And we'll just chain the widths. Oh, wait, we don't need to chain that one. It's this one. Chain the widths and chain the heights. Just to make sure that they are all center crop. Center crop 720. And I'm already taking that one into the Hunyuan image to video conditioning there. But it should be 720, 720. It just, what this means is we can essentially say, oh, I want to do, well, you wouldn't do it with 4, but anyway. This is why I'm working with square. Because you can't mix tall and, you can set it to, you could change this one and have the rest set to fill crop on whatever dimensions that is. So for example, if I wanted to keep proportion here, it's going to fill crop to whatever that proportion is. So like I said, to keep things simple, we'll just go fill crop for the lot at 720 square. So it should load 4 ladies like this. I'd say that's pretty good. I mean, it even did the shadow, right? Or it tried. So, it's impressive. The fractal one that we're working on now is going to render this, essentially. So, God knows what it'll do. I bet it'll just pop out of that immediately into something else, you know? Have you ever seen that happen before? Where it takes the first image and then it kind of pops into something else like it. I think this is actually why they did this. Image from batch 4. So it says official code removes the first 4 frames because they are sometimes bad. In other words, sometimes they perfectly match your image and it pops into something else. So they've just clipped those first 4 frames off. And you'll notice that whenever you're making anything, you add 4 frames. So for 3 seconds it's 77. For 2 seconds it's like 53. So that's what's going on there. 2 more image outs need to be connected. Yeah, true. I haven't clicked the button yet. Don't worry. But thank you for reminding me. So yeah, don't worry. There you go, boys. All right. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, we're going to get our results. Yeah, we can click the button now. It'll only either give an error or a bad result. I probably should have turned it down to make it less generation time. Yeah, let's do that. So 53. And too late. Cancel that. Queue that. Oh, it worked. this image, this image, this image, and this image. Gosh darn it. They're all cut off heads. But hey, maybe it'll just see the clothing. You know? It's going to make... Well, I don't even know. This is going to be a bit hardcore. I don't even know if that's going to work. Right, I'm going to put them all back to the fractal stuff. Oh, wait, no, because that won't make... it'll be fine. Genesis 2, Genesis 2, Genesis 2, Genesis 2. That'll do for now. Ooh. No, we'll wait, we'll wait. Is this... Yeah, it's only going to be 232. I also have it on 24 steps. I added 4 more steps. I don't think it made it worse. But yeah, that came out super nice. This was just a fractal gen though, so I'm interested to see what it does with this lot. It might be a disaster. But the next one should be good regardless. It's just a question of if this actually works. If it works, that's cool because you can do all kinds. There's so many tricks if we can add more images to the clip vision only. So it doesn't affect the start image that's being denoised. That's the top one. But this will add style elements. So for example, if I left this one on Superfash actually, and left them on Genesis, it might introduce a bunch of this to a person. We'll see. We'll see. Ah, I know how to make sure it does. Ha 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 ha. Again, the power of Zenkai image prompt node. Check this out, right? So instead of going straight into the prompt swamp here, we'll text concatenate with string weights. So we're going to go like that. Into A. Make another one. Go like this into the B. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to load it. I'm going to load it, guys. This is going to be crazy. Okay. And trust me, it won't get messy because I've got it. I already solved that. Ba-da-dee, ba-da-dee. Like that, like that. I guess I can't put it. Right, okay, we'll go for the middle just to make it match. Right, so get the prompt from that one, get the prompt from that one. So now we've got 3 fractal prompts and 1 female model prompt, right? So what I propose is the duplicator. Oh, how did I do it? Dupe, prompt dupe, remove a v2. We'll make ourselves a show text so we can see what it was. Oh, that's a save text. We'll make ourselves a show text so we can see what it says. And then put that into the deduper. Right. Now, if I need to whitelist some words because they're getting removed when they shouldn't be, I can obviously add them here. But if I add this one to the prompt swap, which makes sure that these images get turned into the word video. Oh my days. What is it about to do? Oh wow. See, I can't tell if it did anything from... I mean, look, obviously it's her because she's the one that gets put in. But it's got... Yes, we have lots of Eldritch Lauras. They're fun. Music seems quiet. It is. It used to be louder and we replaced them all with mastered songs and then it was too loud and then suddenly I'm like... Depends. I think sometimes I'm sitting all the way back here and then it's like about right. But then some people think that's quiet. It's the age-old audio debate, guys. It's never going to change. It's a great video, though. I mean, if she's like trying to look at my cool trousers, that's what she's doing. It's very stylistic. Yeah, the fractals. You can get my fractal model on Civet. It's called Genesis 2, I think. Genesis 2? Yeah, if you want to load them up. I've trained it in Flux. I might even do a retrain soon as well, actually. I'm not sure. Or maybe I already did it. Yeah, I already did it. Okay, so DJZ Genesis. So this was version 1, which is kind of cool. I love fractals. I think they're amazing. So this is version 1. And then this is version 2, which I recently retrained. Now, I think that for some things, version 1 is better. But for other things, version 2 is better. So that's why there's, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's why. It depends what you're using it for. See, it has a function as a passive detailer, where you load it, but you don't invoke it with its trigger, and it will still have an effect on the output. Quite a wild effect, actually, sometimes. Depends what you're prompting, obviously. But I've made a bunch of them. Not the True World was the first one, because it makes things generally sharper and more detailed, especially in terms of architecture, because that's what it was based on. In a way, you could think of it as a bit of a data bump, rather than, you know, because it's a style LoRa, right? So, but I found you've got like two types of style LoRa: the ones that have been trained a lot, which are very sort of nailed with the style, and then you've got the ones which are kind of like 2/3 trained, and they are they're not undercooked, but they're more elastic when it comes to image and control net. So you get better transformations. Maybe it's a less accurate model, but it's a more dynamic model. You'll find this a lot with training. Ooh. What? Huh? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It didn't like that. What did it not like? It didn't like the clip vision output. So what did I do? What did I do? Let's see what we're actually sending, because that's a lot of text. So it says here, sizes of tensors must match. Expand expected size 1000, but got 433. Do you know what that tells me? It tells me that maybe these images are 512. No, not Lanxos. Bicubic. Right. I wish there was an easy way to do it, but I think that what it is that this is a 1024 model and this is a 512 model. I don't know if that's the case, but it's easy to just eliminate the possibility. I could probably check, but it would probably take me just as long to just do this. And then we'll see if the error's changed. Whoops. Because it's going to go, make sure it's 1024 by 1024. And then do the 720. So, because this should be doing it, but if it's too small, no, there's still something wrong. There's still something wrong. It's not that. It is not that. What could it be? Okay. No, wait. Let me try something here quickly, just in case it's that did it. Oh! Nah, surely it's still going to break. I want to bypass all this stuff I just added because, yeah, it's working now. When have you ever heard of that? I've never heard of that. So I went from a prompt like this to a prompt like this, and it broke it. Is there some magic syntax in here? Oh my god, the ones, look, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's broken. You've got to put 1 there. Otherwise it deletes all of the 1s and the 0s. What's it? 1, 0. Oh man, it's deleted so much stuff. It's good though. You don't want it to have all that. It's way too much. To be honest, this is a silly idea, but it was fun. Bottom line is, it broke it. It broke it. So, self-process tokens. Is it because there were too many tokens? No. It says expected 1008, but got 433. So how did I manage to... What? Size of tensors must match in dimension 0. Expected 1008 got 433 for tensor 1, not tensor 0. So that means, I don't know, this one? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Don't need it anyway. We just take it from here. But... oh well. I mean, I think that these videos are going to look great when we time them to music. So, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. That's why I'm hoping these fractals are good for. I just wanted to see if there's actually an effect. Because it might be that these aren't doing anything, yeah? We'll soon find out. It's not giving an error just adding these. It did when I started putting more prompt action in there, so that's the first thing we found out. I mean, I suppose it could have been just that it got really long, and I've never seen it make the tensor size get smaller, though. Expected 1008 got 433. I haven't seen that before. But it's something to do with tokens. Token weight pairs. It could have been all of the weird character spam with all the dots and the colons everywhere. Could have been that. Don't know. Right. But yeah, when we get this result, I think I'll be ready. Okay, I don't know. Do you think... Yeah, it's definitely doing something, guys. It works, it works. You can do... Okay, so you can do style transfer to your video by adding a different image to the clip vision. Just make sure it's the same size. And don't bother adding any prompts, because the clip vision will pick it up. If you ask me, I think it was this video. I don't know why that got more weight than the rest, because look, you know, blue, purple. Can we see anything else from here? It's all sparklies. And then we've got light emitting from a black and white. And is there light emitting from anywhere? No. But clearly this is yellow and orange, and this is like got a mad blue tint to it. And if you look at my prompt, it makes no mention of blue. It actually says dark-skinned female, which is interesting because she's clearly Asian. But that's fine. We have fixed the bug in the open source version that caused ID changes. Oh, do you think that's why the original checkpoint wasn't working? That does make sense. And look, what's interesting as well, see this flash at the beginning? Yeah? So it looks like 4 images wasn't enough to remove that weirdness. We still get 1 frame, so it might even be actually 5, not 4. Because I'm still getting 1. But anyway, it's a small thing. It's a small thing. But you know what we could do, just to prove it? Let's copy this. What? Where'd that come from? Oh no! You see, you copy one thing and it breaks. Copy, 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 copy. Oh, thank God for that. I thought we were back to broken video, back to broken copy paste again. That drove me mad. So yeah, I don't know. I think it might. We'll see. It might make the entire video again. Yeah, that's a shame. I thought it might still have something in memory and go from there, but yeah, there's no point in doing this. There's no point. If you're going to do it, if you're going to do the whole thing again, there's no point. I'll just do a different video. Okay, so let's make this more controlled, because when I put a whole bunch of them in, you know what I mean? It hasn't had any change on the image. I think it's just the tokens. So I think what I should do is get rid of, just have one, right? Just have one, and also it doesn't need a prompt, so we can just use load image, right? Yeah, that's an interesting one, right? Okay, so I'm just trying to test this image, you know, clip vision injection thing to see if it gives us rudimentary style transfer or if it's just dumb luck, you know what I mean? So let's go again. You didn't really need 2 of them, but that's okay. Screw it, stop and start again. It's fine. And there is actually already a version of this which doesn't have image prompt. I put up 3 image to video workflows. What's that say? 4 hours ago, and there's a fixed version on Kijai's Hugging Face. Ah, nice, 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 nice. That's okay. We'll have to check. Well, we won't be checking that out tonight. Probably do it tomorrow at this point. But yeah, thank you for letting me know. Maybe I should update the links though. The links. There's. Oh. I don't have Kijai's up here. I've only got the native comfy one, which also broke. So do you think they fixed theirs as well? The GGFs are fine though. I don't know. To be honest, some of these new models, even the FP8 is too big for a lot of people. This is why I tend to go with the GGFs as soon as they come out. I just like, ugh. Because you can actually run them. Because I appreciate not everybody has like a giant memory, a giant graphics card. Yeah, check the times, yes. Oh, great, so another 2 minutes. Okay. What's this? Text and stuff. Okay. So yeah, we're probably going to be doing a little bit of writing in a bit. What I want to do is set up a like a demo profile for the Spitoonin version, so that you can just GitHub clone it and then just run it in VS Code without having to, you know, so it's got like a demo mode basically. We kind of did it last night, but my plan is to do that again. So, and then that way when you clone it, you can just run a prompt and see how it works, and you've got like a fully working example. Because the problem was that I built it with a bunch of stuff that was like it was like distilled from my own work, which I'm gonna publish. So I was like, yeah, I need to basically get like a default characters, speech, styles, and world. So we'll put that together, and then we'll make a quick 10-page story, double it, and yeah, because like I said, we need to start looking at the next phase, which is basically the draft editing phase, where we start using the holographic tutor to tell us where are our weak points, you know, and we can start doing things like that to improve the draft. All right, 30 seconds. Yeah, DJZ Genesis was a lot of fun. The other passive detailers that I made were Not the True World, Abstract Chaos, and Electron Microscopy. So they're down here somewhere. Unless I already went past. There's Abstract Chaos. That one makes really good organic and curved features when you use it passively. Not the True World is the architectural stuff. It looks all curvy right now, but it's actually really good at doing sharpness and straight edges. And then there's Microscopy. I don't really think this one worked as well as Genesis. I made this one first, see. And this one is nice at making this sort of flowing stuff. But I think that the fractal one was better. Am I getting screen tearing? I am, aren't I? Yeah, there's another DJZ Electron Microscopy. So that's the Flux version. So I'm not quite sure where my Genesis one went. It should be just a picture of a fractal. Have I gone past it? I feel like I've gone blind. I can't see it. Can't see it. Don't know where it is. That's weird. I know it's on there. I was just looking at it. Obviously, we got 2 workflow packs updated today, Hoda and Zoda. That's Hunyuan and LTXV. They're both up and ready to go. I don't know why this isn't. That should have updated. Ah, this page is out of date. God knows by how much. Could be a week. Oh, well, actually, wait, look at that. See, Hoda's demo hasn't updated. See? That's the V3 demo. So, Civit's obviously having some fun. Right, let's get rid of the LTX stuff for a second. Open this. Bring it to the front. I think we're about ready to go. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to tell you all about the latest workflow pack which we've brought out for Hunyuan Video. They have now released their official image to video model. I've got the video pack updated, and V4 contains a folder with the workflows that you'll need to get started. Here's some of my demos. I think it does a really good job of taking images and turning them into video. There's obviously a couple of different approaches you can use. I've put in an image prompt randomizer, which takes image data sets you put in a folder in my nodes. Also the normal image, where you just load the image and put the prompt in. And then finally a Quen version, which is going to automatically caption whatever image you load into the model. We have been taking a look at it today on the live show. Every day at 7 PM you can find us, UK time. I wrote a new article as well explaining how you can set everything up. So we've got the model that you need. This is the Comfy Org model. I'm going to add keyjars soon. I think there was some kind of a mix-up with some of the models that came out early on. Certainly the Jujuff, which is what I'm recommending, is great. It's perfect. depending on what graphics card you have, 16 gigabytes can fit the Q8. 12 gigabytes can get the Q5KM. I think the 8 gigabyte cards will be able to do Q4KM, but it's a tight squeeze, so you might have to go down to Q4. But certainly you can get all the models running. You can get, you definitely can get a version of this working. You are going to need the Llama 3 Vision, so I linked to the Comfy Org version. And don't forget that you've got to put the jujufs in the UNet folder, or you'll have problems. Okay. And that's just about it, really. I've given you, like I said, the standard image to video, which is just load image, type prompt. Then there's my image prompt to video workflow, which takes, like I said, you select the data set, which you already put in a folder, and then it will put out a prompt and an image. It's nice because you can filter by blacklisting words so that you only get the images you want from your data set, and you can add as many as you want there. So that's how that works. And then finally we've got the Quen VL prompt to video, which is essentially you do a load image, and then it's going to do Quen VL to caption it for you and push that in with a couple of word swap choices, like image to video kind of thing, right? Word swapping. And that's pretty much it, right? I put out the new workflow pack, as I say. These were photos of my doggo, and do you know what? Apart from sort of some some excited movement, which shouldn't be, it actually does a pretty good job. I tested a whole bunch of different types of art here. We're going to add a bunch more images soon. We're just kind of cooking them all up right now. So that's just about everything. I will show you though what we've been working on, which basically shows how there is an effect, albeit slightly trying to figure it out at the moment, but it seems like it's possible. As long as you keep the image the same size, we can add an image to the clip vision and it's going to have an effect. Okay, whether that's a good effect or not depends on what image you're using and what you're trying to do. So, but as you can see here, we use this image. It's a little bit abstract, so I'm not going to say this works, but it's something that you can do, right? Alright then, so I think that's pretty much everything I've got to do. As a matter of fact, this doesn't even look like it's set up right. That should be plugged in there. Why isn't it? Oh, looks like it's time to try it again. Right. Pause. Got to wait for it to finish. Wait. What's that going to be? Another 2.5 minutes? Oh, all right. We can finish that in a minute. I've pretty much explained everything I need to explain, so now I'm just going into extra time. Like, oh, maybe you can do this. We're all trying to figure stuff out, right? Yes, because I just realised it wasn't even hooked up, but then I've changed a bunch of stuff, so I can't even remember. Right, do you know what? Let's find out. No. Wait, what? See how long it's been since I refreshed this tab. Okay, so yeah, looks like numbnuts. It's not attached. So that's even weirder then. So why is it making her purple? Do you know what I mean? Shouldn't be making her purple. So now I'm starting to think that it's not the clip vision. I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I'm getting suspicious now. Just cut that bit out of the video because I don't even know. It seems like it has an effect, but it might just be that we're actually breaking it and that's why it's purple. Could be that too. And I guess there's only one way to find out. Right, well, while we're waiting, let's just quickly blitz those assets that we need. So let's see, I already made like the characters and the speech styles. We can use the same ones, but for the world I want to use something different. So how about even better. We will describe We will describe a fictional city where we will write many. What do we call them? It's detective noir. Detective noir. Can I even spell noir? Noir or noir? Noir or noir? Stories. Okay. We will write. Naha, even better. We will plan the imagining of this fictional city in great detail. Great details, great detail. And this is just for a generic asset, so I can run a demo mode, just for the record. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, one. Let's do 1950. Should we do 1950 alternate history? Alternate history. Which alternate history do we want? Oh, I know. How about the one when moon landing happened in 1948? How about that? That's a little twist. Geography and climate. Where is the city located? Okay, we're going to say it's in America. America. But which bit of America? Let's say Boston. I can't say it. Okay. Does it have a nickname? No nickname. That's going to be helpful, right? And then 4, districts and neighborhoods. Yes. 5, what do we got next? Power structure. Who runs the city? OCP. No, you can't say that. It's too on the nose. What about the criminal underworld? The government. The government. And the government. 6. Aesthetics and architecture. Visual style of your city. Art Deco, Gothic. I reckon we'll go with semi-flooded Gothic. How about that? Alright. You go for it, my man. And the video's done. What a joy. Ah, and it didn't have any effect. Alright, scratch that idea, guys. I think I was just breaking it by shoving too much stuff in there. This looks like a typical output. I've been running it all day, and I just never got round to stacking into the clip vision. And basically, I think what happened was I put too many images in, and it broke it. So, hey, experiments. It didn't break, though. Do you know what I mean? As in, you know what I mean? You still get video, but it was worse video. I think the color shift, which I thought at first meant it had an effect, was actually just some kind of overload glitch. You know? Where it just broke the colors, really. Alright, and it just coincidentally happened to have an image that was that color. That's okay. Oh yeah, somebody wanted to know about face swapping with HiVid. I reckon what we'll do is we'll attack that tomorrow as well, because at the end of the day it's like installing all of that face swapping stuff takes up time, and I do plan out roughly what I'm going to be doing, so I'm not going to waste time with it doesn't take a long time or anything. It's just that if it gets squirrely, it takes away from the other stuff we want to look at today. Okay, so how are we doing? Yeah, see, that's just broken. That's also not very good. The generation wasn't very good. I like these fractals though. So I might just copy those. Okay, so those ones. We got 4. Okay. So that was a load of old nonsense. All right then. Yeah, okay, I know what to do. So if you wanted to grab those workflows, you can grab them on Civet. They're already updated in the V4. You'll find the new ones in a folder there. Or, of course, you can go over to Mushroom Fleet GitHub and you can git clone the workflows. It's already there. All of the Hoda stuff for Hunyuan is right here. So you'll find all the workflows going all the way back. Native comfy is probably what you want, but we do have stuff for the Keyjai wrapper. Yeah, so native i2v official is the folder you want, and any new workflows are going to get added in right there. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Up. All right. Kill that. Kill that. And we're back in business. Where's my thing here? Here we go. Right. So now we'll just put this back on instant mode. I need more fractals, please. I'm going to say fractal. Skip that one. All right. It's really good. It's really good. All right. So, where were we? Westwick. It seems pretty good. Okay, right. Distill. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, hang on. How can we improve the description? No, definition. The definition and description of this world. Vernica. My, I'm so late. Battlecruiser isn't as operational as I would like. Hello, Fernicar. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to everybody, in fact. Thank you all for joining. Please like the stream as well. We don't exist if you don't like the stream. Like I said, I haven't been doing these for very long. We only started at Christmas, so it's like a new thing. We're still here. We're still chugging along. So, happy to have more people join us. But it's pretty much just what we're up to. New things come out so often. You know, it's like it doesn't stop, actually. Okay, I'm not going to get him to do all that. I'm just going to say, please distill the current description of this world into a new file named world.txt. I might say, like, yeah, just say that. Is the hype real? The hype is always real. It's a question of how long it lasts. How long will the hype last, I think, is more useful thing. Alright, so let's download that. Now, just like I did yesterday, I'm going to do this from scratch because I do believe that that's how it should be used. All right, I'm going to steal some stuff from the old project, but not a lot. Not a lot. So essentially, what we're going to do, and like I said, when you see how this works, it's so much fun. Why can't I see the bottom here? There we go. That's the actual timer. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring it. It looks like it's not moving right now, but it's just slow. It's slow and it's fast. So if we go to tools and we create a new one, I'm going to call this story mode, yeah? So here we have story mode. Now, the first thing I have to do is I have to open the terminal, and then we're going to git clone the inversion repo. Okay. I miss augment, says Fernicar. Yeah, I disabled it finally after I got fed up after weeks of it bombing me. It just kept popping up all the time. I can't use stuff that's popping up all the time. It drives me mental. So yeah, my next repo will be number 60. So here's DJZ workflows. Sim reset is a new one I brought out. Remember how we have a sim linked folder for our models in Comfy and it breaks when you do the update at the moment? So yeah, this fixes it. It deletes the empty models and then replaces your we made it on the stream the other day. It works exactly like we planned. I just didn't upload it until today. But yeah, I'm using it now. It's good. So we're going to type in here git clone and then the URL of my project. So narrative spittoon inversion. And the idea is we're going to throw everything in the spittoon and then we're going to turn it upside down and see what falls out. That's literally what we're doing. It's kind of funny how that works. But essentially, we're going to be giving a default characters, a default speech style. So this is my plan, okay? Default, right? Default. And in default, we're going to have characters, we're going to have project instructions, we're going to have speech styles and world. Because these are the customizable. These are core. You don't change the core really unless you know what you're doing. So we'll go to default, paste them in there, and so I'm going to change this to be default dash characters. Okay, I'm just going to literally make it like really obvious. This is like for the demo. Okay. So go into this one, default project instructions, default speech styles, and then I'll just adjust the prompt to refer to all of these. It's going to be super easy because at the moment this shows you how you have to set yours up, but it's not set up, and really I'd like it to work out the box. So that's pretty much what we're doing. We've already done about 10 hours on this. I'm not gonna lie, we've already done like 10 hours on this now, so I apologize if I don't explain everything. Hit the comments if you need to, if I miss something out, doesn't make sense. It's probably because I've already explained it a bunch of times. Okay, so as I said, we're gonna borrow definitions from a previous project. So if I go to my tools again and go into the last one we did, which was Thursday Hangout, right? So that was yesterday. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take characters v2 JSON. So let's open that up, copy that one. Because like I said, we built these yesterday for this exact purpose. So it's technically a JSON file. So I don't think we actually need the tags, but it is technically in characters. It's not really a tag though. What's the word in JSON? An element, an object? I forget what the word is for the schema. You know? Isn't there a word for the top level field definition? You wouldn't say it's in tags, though. Anyway. Default characters, and so this is obviously going to be a JSON. See, characters. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with the speech styles. Speech styles v2, there it is. I just want to give something that's a bit more complete. And I want to stress, you don't have to have it any, like, it doesn't have to be JSON. It, you know, it just needs to be machine readable. So having a structure is a good idea, but it's not like a deal breaker, you know. It doesn't have to be JSON. It could be XML. It could be even the .md markdown. It's fine. It doesn't matter. As long as the computer can understand it. Because really these are, it's like a distilled, we're distilling the information into JSON or into whatever, right? Right, default world. So this is the bit that we just came up with. So here is our world. So I'm just going to copy that and save that like this. JSON. There we go. My JSON data is cultural influence. True, true. I was actually thinking about having a thesaurus agent who's going to go through your entire book and just look for the top 10 most repeated words and then have an 80% chance to scramble it into a different thesaurus choice. Because I've noticed there's things like the AI will he'll say lighting. He'll say lighting 15 times on one page, or words that contain the word light. Slight, lightning. It's funny. Just kind of becomes a little bit obsessed. That's not a JSON. That is a text file. Or an MD file, actually. There we go. Fontaine says, are Hunyuan really good? It never works before in my tests, image to video. Well, I'm happy to report that, yes, it does work, and it works really well, but I'm doing it with my workflows. I don't know what other people are doing. I'm also using GGUF. I've heard from people along the grapevine there were some scuffed models that came out which have now been replaced. So if you were early or quick, you may have ended up with a scuffed model. I don't know. Let me just see. Somebody says, basket of puppies said in the chat, oh man, 5 below 5, did you see this on Hunyuan this morning? March 7th, today. We have fixed the bug in our open source version that caused ID changes. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know exactly what that is, but apparently 4 hours ago, fixed versions started coming out. Now, I only picked up these GGUF versions about that long ago, so that might explain why mine are working. Yesterday, when I did the workflow update and all of the everything, I'll admit mine wasn't working last night. You know, this is one of the reasons I didn't bring out any workflows yet, because I'd seen people using it, but the workflows that were released didn't work. And so then it took me this afternoon to fix workflows, get them working. And if I'm being real, the way I fixed it was by using the GGUF. So it looks like everybody got like boned models today or yesterday. Casting long shadow is the words AI usually use. Yes, true. The lighting was casting a long shadow on the lighting as the shadows were casting. Yeah, I know. He can do stuff like that. It's one of the things the sniper's looking for. What are we doing? Are we getting our next video? Oh, no. Wait, what? Why is this the same image? Oh, that's interesting. My plan is to make this audio reactive, by the way. That's why we're making these. So I'm just going to let this cook now. and just keep making loads of them, and then in a little bit we'll have a bunch of them to put into audio reactive workflow. Okay. If the handbraker's finished, cool. This is now done. Right. So we've got our default world, we've got our default speech style, and that's mapped for each of the characters that we're defining. So we've got Maya first, followed by Elijah. Maya, followed by Elijah. Okay? So you put your characters, each character's speech style, and then you define your world. Okay? And then that's it. So obviously we've got our default project instructions right here. Now, we don't have any visualization or technical spec. Right? We don't have any of that stuff. Okay? The way that you get that stuff is by analyzing text that you've written with an agent. And I have included those prompts too. We've got Artifact Builder, which creates world characters and speech styles from one of your books, which is that's how I use it. Now, Extra Artifacts covers the other stuff. So when you've got that PDF loaded, right, whatever it is, we need mermaid charts, we need a glossary of terms, we need JSON files, technical specs, right? So that's what that prompt does, and that's how we get those assets. But if you don't have them, like I said, we can generate them, or we can generate them based on stuff. So I can use the world building document. Right, I'll show you, because like I said, we're building a default today. So obviously the first thing I need to do is I need to change it to, and it's not listed inside world tags, and it's not in character tags, and it's not in speech tags, because this is a JSON, this is a JSON, and this is an MB. Yeah, because like I said, but it doesn't matter what it is. You can put whatever you want as long as it's machine readable. That's fine. So the world setting is defined in world MD. The characters personality definitions, yeah, and that's not right. The ghost writing speech style guidance is in there. Yeah, let's clean this up a little bit, shall we? Default dash. Isn't it funny how you like see mistakes and you're like, how did I not even see that? It's been there for ages. Okay. Default characters, default speech styles, default world. There, that's done. So I could put default world into a Claude with that prompt. So here, I'll show you. So if I add, now I'm going to need that folder. If I go into Spittoon inversion, go into what? It's not there. Oh, great. The folders are nested weird. All right, don't worry about it. So if I go into default world, so we've just generated this world a minute ago. We literally just made it up, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the extra artifacts prompt, like that. Chuck that in there. Now, I could beef this up a bit, and I could say, I'm writing, what is it? I'm even better. We will be writing, what's it called? Detective noir genre. Okay. And so that's wrong here. Yeah. Not that one. About this world called, what was the name of the city? I don't know. About this city, this flooded city. It's so sketchy. It reads schizo because it's like you're distilling, compressing, and shorthanding everything you write. So when you read it back, you're like, where's all of the information? And it's because it's implied connections that fill in the gaps. So check him out. Off he goes. And I did cheat. I couldn't remember the name of the city, so I just... Oh yeah, by the way, when it says broken, that's a problem at the moment. Tell him to fix it afterwards. It's funny. He's probably going to break all of his flowcharts, but we'll tell him to fix it. The glossary of terms is really important because it means that you can have, like, what's it called? It means that you can have consistent nomenclature for everything in your story. So the AI doesn't make stuff up; he grabs it from this, you know. So it will always be, the location will always be called what it's called. You know what I mean? It's never going to be something else. Because once he picks it, he'll pick everything in there. You can add more to it too. I tried to keep it light because you have to watch out for the context window. But what I like is dynamic self-informing properties. So if I'll give you an example. If I said to you, what does McDonald's look like? Right? You've got an idea in your head what McDonald's looks like. Right? I don't need to tell you, oh, there's a big M that's yellow and there's like a drive-through with like a menu on. You know what it looks like because they all kind of look the same, right? And AI can be a little bit like that. Sometimes you can refer to a term which has compressed or associated meaning, yeah? So like if you know, like I said, you know, if you said a roadside diner, you know, the AI knows where that, like, oh, there's a road, you know, like, it's all by association. So sometimes the way that you prompt, you're trying to, like, hit as many pins as you can with your bowling ball by association. So you're headed for the head pin and then you knock them all down, you know what I mean? Because they're all connected. That's the idea anyway. You're going for the strike. And obviously you didn't actually aim for the ones at the back. They just got knocked over as you know. It's an I think that's an interesting analogy. It's a bit like bowling. Oh, is that it? Are we done? I think we're done. Whoa, look at all this. Oh, it's no, continue. He wants to keep going. These ones looking cool. I reckon once we put audio reactivity on these, they're going to look sweet. Bit of upscaling. Some noise over time. I might even try the depth noise, because I've got this video depth noise thing at the moment, where we use a depth map to apply more or less noise. That might be interesting. Oh, nice. It's actually made loads. Okay, cool. Alright. Lunar technology. See, I told it, because I said we landed on the moon in 1948, so... Whoa, what just happened? It, like, lagged out and went to a completely different chat. What the hell? What the hell is that? Did you see that? It just completely glitched out on me. Come on. Oh. I guess... Oh, it's still going. Okay. It's time for coffee, guys. It's still working. Space Marines are facing their greatest enemy yet, coffee grits. I know, it was coffee part 16. Way too long. See, the funny thing is, I used to do a lot of extreme sports filming, right? People doing backflips and stuff. And one thing that I always found kind of crazy, and when you think about it, it's because of physics, right? Gravity, physics, doesn't matter, right? It's very rare to see somebody get more than 3 seconds of airtime. Very rare. Usually it requires a setup, like being pulled by a vehicle or going down some insane ramp, okay? Like 4 seconds of airtime is actually a long time. Like, I mean, like, you know, so normally guy goes up for about a second, he's going up, and then he's in the end, and it's about a second, and then he starts coming back down again. It's gravity. You can't, do you know what I mean? But what I wanted, the reason I bring this up is because it's like, what is a moment, right? A moment in time. So like 1 second is like the blink of an eye, almost. 2 seconds is like something started and then it ended. 3 seconds, you get 1 second to enjoy whatever it was before it ends. Obviously 4, 5, 6, just longer, right? And death-defying, you know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, it's like, I think you need to have 3 seconds. Like if you look at this right here, we got a 2-second clip. And it starts and then it ends. Is it 2-second clip? Let me just check. Yeah, it's a 2-second clip. So it starts and then it ends, right? And that's cool, right? For what we're doing, that is cool. But when, I think really you need about 3 seconds. Because then whatever it is that you want to show starts to happen. The thing you're trying to show happens. And then you have like a nice extra second of... So it's like lead in, thing, lead out. And it's natural, right? Problem is, if you're trying to time something to music, it's a lot easier to go in beats divisible by 2 than 3. So, yeah, 2 seconds ends up being easier to do to like a snappy music video, but I think 3 seconds, while being harder to time, might actually pay off in a different way. So then you'd have like, maybe you'd have 2-second videos sped up as a padding between 3 seconds. You could like, well, anyway, I don't want to get into it. It's like minutiae of editing strategy. You can do what you want. But yeah, this is looking nice. Why hasn't it changed? Have I got this? Oh, retard. I'm continuously processing the same thing. Do you know what? Actually, I got a better idea. Hang on, I got a better idea. Leave it fixed. Go up by 2. And then let it repeat the same image a few times. Yeah. Bull riding 8 seconds can be a lifetime or a blink of an eye perspective. Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, Tiger Owl. Okay. Right. So where are we on this? I need to download these files, don't I? Whoa, okay, did it finish? Yes, it finished. Solid foundation, he said. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Lunar technology, guys. They've got lunar technology. Download that. Right. Download that. What's this? Download that. What's this? It's broken. And this is the thing I was telling you about. This is like a recent thing. I don't know if they're going to... They've obviously broken something, I don't know, but... All the .mermaid files are broken. Please check and fix them. Yeah, it's a problem I had yesterday. It's like a new thing. Flowcharts are really good for mapping out connections, complex structures and hierarchies in a way that the AI actually understands. Whoa, there we go, we got one. Did you see that? That was cool. power structure. Very cool. Very cool. One thing I will say about Hunyuan video, image to video, that you probably haven't heard anybody else say is, damn, my fans are loud with this model. With this model, my fans have been blowing on. I've turned my heating off. It's a hot model. So lunar material, failed tidal control, black market tech. What? This thing needs some edits. Modified infrastructure, lunar powered vehicles, moonstone batteries. This is crazy stuff. It's turned into a sci-fi. That's okay. So we're gonna. Oh, what's this? Westwick City layout and elevation map. So we got helicopters, elevated walkways, trams, amphibious vehicles, because remember it's a flooded city, canal boats, water vehicles, boat craft, submersible craft, deep water craft, salvage submarines. Wow, it must be really flooded. Upper class, live in the buildings. Yeah. Dock workers, smugglers, sailors. Wow, you got piracy is back. Water rats. So we've got, whoa, the depths. So you live on Drown Town. You don't want to live in Drown Town. The shallows, harbour, the stilts. So you must be like rich to live above water. Isn't that's so crazy? I love this. The world has been flooded. That'll put a dampener on things. Oh dear, that was terrible. So yeah, we download that. I just want to make sure I've got them all. Have I got them all? No. Power structure. Ooh, I'll have to have a look at that. That looks cool. Let's have a look. City Hall surface government. Let me guess. I live in the submersible shadow government. Yes, the submersibles. It's actually quite funny. Oh man. The harbour masters of the criminal syndicate, of course. Oh, the tidal commission is the shadow government. That's something else. All right. Okay. Shouldn't there be perpetual fog? There can be perpetual fog if we want. We just need to add it. There can be perpetual fog. Okay. Yeah, that was what I was looking at. Okay. So how do we add all of that nonsense? Well, we're going to go to downloads. We're going to go to my thing. Right, and here are all of those files. Okay. So if we just take all of those, the Westwick saga, right? I'm just going to plug them all in there. And then when we're in VS Code, all I got to do, now this is the bit that, this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing, is adding your files to your project. Okay, that's probably the hardest part of the whole thing. So if we put this by type, okay, and let's see, we'll do the mermaids first. So I just start by putting in the file names. It does understand markup, so that's like bullet points. So the reason I'm putting all these dashes in, it's not just because I like things to be organized on the screen or something, it's because this is how it actually listens to you and separates things. Okay, so then we'll get these guys here. The gallows. Yeah, good one, Full Dive. Maybe we should change it to the gallows. That's what I mean. It's up to us. We can change it. 50s noir. Well, now we know why the fog is so crazy in this town, because it's flooded. I'll just make sure to add that to the world. I'll go in there and be like, hey, in fact, I'll show you how we can improve the world with various bits and pieces like that. Keep on throwing stuff in the chat. 100%. Right, world building. No, that's not world building. You know, that moment when you aren't paying attention. Hang on. I was too busy looking at the comments. So, okay, so JSON. need to get on with it. It takes too long. I take too long. It's because I'm trying to explain it, guys. I do try. Okay, so we got the mermaids, we got the JSONs, now we need to get the texts. I usually do the glossary last, there's no reason for that. No reason for it. Just... I don't think the order really matters. It may. Now, obviously, the reason I'm making this default is because these would have been based on whatever your story is. Whatever they are, what we've done is we've done like a textual inversion in a way. We've distilled the source story into a scaffolding which is hollow. And then we can project backwards through that and write new stories by introducing a final page. It's actually super simple. But like I said, the way I've set this up, you'll be able to just run it because I'm going to give you a final page and everything. So if we say story page 20, there's the final page. We're going to be writing that. Okay. And to be honest, I've got a new technique where you just delete the last page when you're done. So you should like kind of summarize the entire story that you want it to write here. But so it's written as though the story has happened. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Because then it has to write the story about the things that happened, right? I don't know. It makes sense to me. Okay, but we're still not done. So let me just double check everything. Default world is here. We'll have a look at that. So, narrative hooks. Now, you could just put a list in. But as you can see above, I give about a sentence of what that is, okay? Sometimes more. Now, I don't have to worry about that because he already told me what it all is, look. So, Westwood City Layout and Elevation Map. City Layout and Elevation Map. Yeah? Westwick Power Structure Relationships. That would be that one then. Yeah? You see? It's all here. It's all here. It's already done. Do you know what I mean? You don't even need to type it out. Now, sometimes what I do is I put another little dash in and put the file names in quotes. But this is just me. I don't know. I don't even know. I've always done it and it works. It's one of those funny things. I can remember back in the day when image lawyers first came out, I would always train things with like a capital letter for the first word of the trigger and stuff. And then I'd be telling people, oh, make sure you do it like this. And it's like, it didn't actually matter if you capitalized the trigger word. Do you know what I mean? It didn't actually matter. It's just that I'd always done it the way it worked and I'd never tried it the other way. And as it happened, it didn't matter. The case sensitivity didn't have any impact. But yeah, it's like you never want to say stuff that you don't know. Alright, so what's the next one? So, narrative hooks. So we've already, these are the text files. Okay, so glossary of terms. That one was last. Police investigation procedures. So there's another one. If you had like a manual on police procedures, you could add that in. And it's going to be like having somebody who's going to give you like accuracy, like an accuracy advisor. What the heck? Give me like a whole empty paragraph there. All right. Technology database. Technology database. There it is. And then this one here, character archetypes. So obviously I'm just generating it. But I would have thought that if you're, you know, because this is enough for you to test it out and see how it works, basically. But it's always going to be better when you base it on actual work, right? And you don't even need to give it much. Okay. So, all right. I believe this is all linked up now. The only thing is, of course, that these are in a folder below, so it's like // which isn't great. Let me just see if I can get the correct link for those files real quick. So if I just say copy relative link to ghostwriting style. I don't think that works. Copy path. This will be the whole path to on the hard drive, won't it? Yeah. All this is, guys, is I'm trying to get to here I'm in a subfolder right now to keep the files together. Oh, I know what I can do. I can just copy these ones in here as well, and then it can use its own version. It's fine. They're the same anyway, so it won't make no difference. Okay, cool. So now we've got everything we need there. Now, is there anything I need from here, actually? Nope. Cool. So this is now a clean project, empty template ready for use. And then default is a copy that has everything you need. So let's test it. It's the project that I'm going to need open. Everything else can close. I'll just close everything. Need that one open. There. Okay. So we've defined everything. It's all of the hooks, like I said, the hooks you need, where it looks, that's the folders it's looking at. These files are in here now, so I don't need to mess about. It solved that problem. Cool. So now I just need to write the last page of the story. So what I'm gonna do is not that one. All these different archetypes. That's cool. I didn't even see that. So we're gonna pick Elijah, who is Indian and Puerto Rican. He's gonna be our detective. All right. It says here he's a master carpenter. So I'm gonna say Private Eye, retired detective and former military engineer. It's a strange thing, but I think it'll work. Concerned about so he runs a community workshop, and he's worried about the structural issues. That's great. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to cheat. You could call it that, because it is. I'm going to say our main character is a private eye. Private? I hate that whole thing. Private eye in, what was it called? Something city. I'm really familiar with this content, you can tell. It's because I didn't write it, okay? Normally I work with my own stuff, which I've distilled, but we've just making this up so we can give it away for free, right? Is a private eye, a hard-boiled private eye, in the city of Westwick, okay? And now I'm going to give him the... yeah, do you know what? I'm going to give him the Noir City World, okay? Noir City World .md is attached. Okay. I only need I only need the last page of a generic story. Generic detective noir story. Yes. So that I can write the book backwards. Okay, so I can write the last book backwards. Okay, so we can write a final page that allows for the maximum possible number of potential stories that end in this way. All right. I want you to think long and hard. Think long and hard about this. Then write my final page. What is it? Write my final page dot text. The stuff that we have it doing, you know? West Wind. Yep. He's crafting. How are we doing on the video side of things? I can't even see it anymore. Ooh. That's cool. That came out good. Because look, it literally was that. Actually came out a little bit better than the image, I think, maybe. Whoa! See, if you click on the menu, look, if you click on Claude, it pops out this massive thing. I was just clicking on the window. That's what happened. Final page. Oh man, it loads. That's great. That's awesome. All right, we'll close that. Or download that, or copy it, or whatever. Right. Save and paste. Look at that. So this is our generic final page written by AI, everyone. So okay, I'll collect my fee. That's how it goes. Toss my cigarette. Coming or what? Morales. I adjusted my trench coat. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. Some secrets belong to the depths. I want to write this now. I want to get Claude to write this now. I'm now his executive producer. Now, Claude, I need you to write me a book. So this is where we begin. 20-page story. Copy the prompt. It's already in the repo, right? We've got page 20 open. Okay. So I can close that now. So we've got page 20 open. Yeah. Here comes the prompt. Claude 3.7 Sonnet Thinking. For both plan and act, I'm using deep thinking with 1024, the minimum amount of deep thinking. Okay. Here's my prompt. Story, page 20. Story, page 20. They'll be correct. The project instructions won't. So you want to say default. Default project instructions. Same thing here. Default project instructions. Check there's no other links. So you just got to make sure all the links. See, there's another one, look. And there's another one. There's 4 of them. It's just the way it goes. Wrong. There. So default project instructions, default project. Just need to make sure, because it'll do weird stuff if you start mixing your instruction sets. Like, trust me. All right. So copy that. So we can use the project instructions to write a story in reverse. By guessing what happened in the scene, we will adhere to the project instructions when speculating, writing a single page at a time. We'll define the process methodology for this task in planning mode, and I will supply the final page of the story. We will then follow the project instructions while we read the page, understand the instructions, write page 19, which is the previous page, while using data from the instructions. Then repeat the instruction for each page until you hit page 0. Off we go. Full Dive says, it would be great if your novel app could be Gradio or something with sliders and different abilities like activating or deactivating, and sometimes too much info can make... Yeah. See, I'm assuming that you've got a book, or... Because look, if you've ever written a book, you can just feed it into this, and then you can use it to create many, many stories in that same... It's like instant fan fiction, but you base it on your own work. So then by the time you've done your edit, often the editing process, you'll end up doing more than 50% rewrite. That's what often happens, you know? And so, and here's the thing. If I don't need to do more than 50% rewrites, then that means it's even more efficient. You know what I mean? Because that's just part of the process. Oh yeah, I should probably change the seed though. How long has it been making this video? Right, that's it. You know that whole idea of... Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. Because it was running, I think it was running a different seed on the same image a couple of times. And because I'm like not able to remember what I'm doing, I forgot about it. So I probably got loads of these. It's not so bad. Sometimes too much info can make the AI mess up. Yeah, that is true. It's because he really does understand what you're telling him to do, and sometimes when you don't give clear instructions, it's like you might have been giving... Hang on, who will rid me of this turbulent priest? That's not a message to go and execute the priest. That's something some knights got wrong in the Middle Ages. But I'm saying communication can be difficult. Sometimes you might say something and imply something you didn't want, you know, something you didn't mean or desire, whatever. It's the same thing. English is fun like that. All right. So, let's have a look. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can actually read the damn thing. Okay. So here we have it. Our protagonist is Detective Morales Singh, operating in a noir setting of Westwick. The case involved a lunar artifact that will be returned to the Shadow Agency. A dame from the Heights was in danger. There were goons from Drowntown involved. The detective kept a small piece of lunar tech as insurance. The detective uncovered a conspiracy reaching the highest levels of power. The detective made some morally ambiguous choice that leaves them questioning themselves, and the detective is returning to the office above Finnegan's bar. That's just page 20. That's just page 20. So here we have the hero's journey framework in reverse. Now, we did a whole bunch of research yesterday. You don't have to just use the hero's journey. I'm going to be putting up a big guide because we did save the cat yesterday. Okay. But I'm going to organize them by the year they came out. Because basically there's so many different story patterns which you can just drop in. So it doesn't have to be the... You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the hero's journey. I just use that because I know it's like solid. The AIs understand that. It's baked in, basically. You don't even need to explain it, you know? It's like you don't need to explain how to play poker. You just tell the AI to play poker. He knows the rules. He understands it, right? That's what I'm talking about. So if we do this in reverse, so we read it forwards: ordinary world, call to adventure, crossing the threshold, test allies, enemies, approach to the innermost cave, reward ordeal, resurrection, road back and return. Alright? Detective's normal life, middle, major conflicts, yeah, final confrontation, transformation. It's all there, right? All the beats. So the methodology for each page. Analyze the page we've already written. Identify key questions. Consult the world building materials. Write the preceding page. Maintain consistency in tone, characters and plot. Track previously introduced elements. And then here are the story elements. These are all coming out of our planning, right? Out of our default plan stuff. That's the scaffolding, the narrative scaffolding I was talking about. That's what you build. So, from page 19, I need to address the immediate aftermath of the detective's final confrontation, the details about the choice made, the conclusion of the main action that's led to the case being officially closed, introduction of how Lunar Artifact came into the detective's possession, and then setting up elements that will lead to a chase through the shallows. There's nothing I need to do. Just let it rip. Right, let's switch this over. Good luck reading it. He writes really fast. Yeah, Hero's Journey is the most classic. It is. It's the most classic. It's basically Star Wars was built on the story on that as well. It's Hero with 1,000 Faces. It's ancient. But in the last 100 years, there have been around 10 or 20 notable systems which are actually used a lot in popular media. I didn't realize it until I started reading, and I was like, dude, this is like every episode of this one TV show, you know? So obviously what I'll do is I'll include a README document with explanations of what prompts to use, you know, all that kind of stuff, and break down the options. And like I said, if there's stuff you don't like, yeah, it's possible to delete a page, but I wouldn't do that. I would just edit it. I would see this as actually editing practice. You're giving me a way to sculpt a story as rough stone, and then go in and like change it if I want to. But here's the thing, if you don't have a passion for writing, you're probably never going to read it. Okay? I'm just being real. Because it's a lot. I don't think people realize how much it is. The last book I did yesterday was 30 pages. It was based on a 30-page template, and we used my upscaler. It went up to 160 pages, which but it would take you a couple of days to read that. You know, how quick do you read, right? So, yeah. But the fact that it's based on your own stuff, like this is writing based off of a bunch of randoms. We've just generated a load of random scaffolding to see what happens, right? Lunar Corp flooded half the city on purpose. Ooh, it's getting dark in Westwick. The depths, the undertow. Love it. The morning fog clung to the harbour town docks. Hey, do you know what? The cloud, you know, you mentioned the fog, right? I'll make a special version of the upscaler, like a noir version of the upscaler, where it's always obsessed about talking about fog all the time. It says, I can listen to 100 page in one go with TTS, especially if it's my own book. Yeah, that's actually something I do want to take a quick look at tonight, is seeing if we can convert these pages. I want to know if we can load these pages into text-to-speech. Yes. Yes, the audiobook version, exactly. Just go full narration. Just go full narration. Forget about custom voices for characters for now. Just go pure narration, find a nice voice, and do it all with Kokoro with a big old batch. Leave it on overnight. Tomorrow it'll be ready. It'll probably finish before even morning. So that's going to be happening tonight. We'll do that after we've done this. Because it'll take me all night to actually upscale the text. But I think, like I said, if we have a detective noir upscaler, we can have it you know, we can have it themed for detective noir. So it's not like the same as the upscaler I've been used. Like I said, it can talk about the fog if we're outside, or it can talk about the damp if we're inside. Stuff like that. Because the city is flooded, right? And everyone's like poor. Unless you work for Lunacorp, and then you're dry and warm, I guess. See how dry it is? It's just lines. It's just lines and plot. The first part is all about the business. You can see it. There's no descriptives. It's just someone said something, someone said something, someone said something, shrugged, looked down, left, I went outside, I went someone else. So, yeah. So this is where I'm trying to look, you see? It's all about the business. It's almost a screenplay, in fact. It's that dry. And so that's why when I come in with the upscaler, it adds in all this rich detail, because we've already defined what the city is. We know what the buildings look like, right? And so we can get him to describe the aesthetics. We can get him to, you know, obsess over an object in the room and describe it at random in great detail, you know. Like, between the two men, there was a gold eagle statue. You know, you can have all this stuff, and I think it spices up the... it's a bit more like interpolation, you know? Because you're not just making text bigger, you know? You have to add stuff that's contextually aware of what the page is about. So he has to read the page, understand the page, and then start to describe stuff that's missing. The way I got around this was I said... I programmed an agent to be the environment. And by that, I mean, like, it was the walls, it was the floors, it was the chairs, it was everything that wasn't human. I made this AI agent, right? And I said, you are extroverted, you love describing yourself. When you're reading this book, you're a silent character. You're not allowed to speak, but you are allowed to interject into the script, and, well, not the words, but, you know, you're allowed to interject and describe yourself in great detail. Yeah? That's how I came up with the idea. And it works. What can I say? Do you know what I mean? So then it's like masking, because you're masking the speech and you're masking the story structure. Yeah? Yeah, full dive. I have actually got a good idea of how we can do the voice stuff, but you have to pass the pages and turn them into a script. So we get an AI to determine who's talking, you know? We get an AI to determine who's talking, and then remove all the stuff that isn't people talking and basically give me a script. Here's the story, give me a script. That's pretty much what it is, right? And then from that, what you can do is you can have the narrator version where he reads the whole thing, and then you have the script version, which can be programmed to automatically switch voices and say the lines, right? So then now I've got two things. So the last piece of the puzzle is having the narrator recognize speech and play entry 1 in the lines playlist. And as long as they're in sync, it will work. Like, it could go wrong, you know, but as long as it's in sync, it'll work. You'll end up with, you know, from the speech quote, as soon as it hits a speech quote, it stops, and then it plays the speech for whoever's talking, and then there's a speech quote, back to narrator, speech quote, now it does the next. So it's all like, you just have to have a great big playlist, and they change roles whenever there's a speech quote, you know, in the actual text, you know, and then it says one line and goes back to the narrator, keeps going. That's my idea, but because you don't want it to be too much, like, you don't want to have to go and put a special character in every single, you know what I mean? Like, it's too much. It's too much. So it's got to be intelligent, but also you don't want to be using AI on the whole thing, like, all the time. It's expensive. good technique in world building and explaining it to a reader without info dumping is to let the characters tell their details. Yes, the trick is to make it in a way to have a back end and a back and forward. Yes. Yeah, I like to think that sometimes, say you have a show, right? Like right now, I've got this storyline, and you have these two characters, right? And they are both very, very character-y, right? And I think sometimes a nice mechanism for what you're talking about is you have a third character be introduced. That's what I've done. Well, what I did in the original book that this thing was working on was I had a third character called Stavros that got introduced about a quarter of a way into the book, almost immediately. But he's not there at the start. Do you know what I mean? But he's almost immediately introduced, and then he's you. Because, you know, he doesn't know these two people, he doesn't know the ship, he doesn't, you know, and so then it's like he gets to ask questions that maybe the audience might ask. And also, then the two main characters can explain things to him like he is us, because we don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, normally there'd be no reason for them to explain things, because it's like, why would they say that? They both know that. They clearly both know that. And that annoys me a little bit. But look, nobody's perfect. You know, writing is hard. It's easy. It's easy to tell a story. It's hard to tell it well. I'll put it that way. It's easy to tell a story. It's hard to tell it well. But the thing is, I think that people don't get enough practice because of the fact that it's hard. And in reality, the only way to get better is to just do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get better at something by not shooting hoops. You got to shoot hoops. If you shoot hoops all day, you'll get really good. It's facts. So that means forget what people think. Forget how you're doing it. Tell your stories. Okay? I don't care if you use AI or if you use, like, a dice. Because think about it, right? I've written video games which have procedural storylines, and they use RNG to generate the story every time. This is better than that. I know people are like, oh, but did you really write it? And, well, yeah, it wouldn't exist if we didn't write it. I would even say that with a procedural story, the user, the gamer, wrote their story. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even the developer, because he set the system up so it would work like that. And the developer hasn't got a clue what you're going to do. You know? So, yeah, I think that just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Who was it? The guy with the tin of tomatoes. He said, just keep making art. When they're all trying to figure out what it is and they're all arguing about whether it's legal, just keep making art. You know? When they all tell you you're not an artist, just keep making art. Don't even stop. So, and these are the facts. If you wanted to write a book, it would take you a year, because there's a lot of editing, and you know that you never hand in the first draft, right? So, what I'm trying to say is that you can write this book in a day, you can refine it in another day. You can edit it on a third day, and by day 4 you're publishing. So if you actually have ideas that you want to complete, and you've always thought it was going to be an impossible task, now's the time. The time is now. And if anyone says, oh, AI books are spamming Amazon, you'll never... That's not your book, right? So what? They spam eBay too, with cheap plastic, so... What, you shouldn't, what people don't do it then because a lot of people do it? That's not logical. The way I see it is, if you've got a story to tell, now's the time to tell it. You know, quite frankly, I don't know what this obsession with how the sausage is made came from. No one ever used to go up to the chef and say, hey, how'd you make that? No one ever used to do this. You know, like going up to Steven Spielberg, so what's your secret? How do you film the movie then? Tell me how you make a good movie. I want to know exactly how you made it so I can judge your process and pick it apart. It's really good. Anyway, I enjoy it. I think it's funny because it's almost like none of that matters. You know, did you finish it? Did you like it? You know, if you like it and you finished it, you just achieved something that most people never do, is, you know, actually finishing it and having written your own story. The way that these books are written, it's literally like a big tunnel of story ideas, which the vector has to like spiral through on its way to the end. So the influence that we have set here is huge. You know? Hey, welcome. We got a new joiner. Yeah, so like I said, the interesting thing about this is that once it's finished, we could use the same final page. Let me see if I can get that final page up. Because what's really interesting about this final page, as opposed to the other ones that we were looking at, here we go, is it's really detailed, but it's also quite vague. Yeah, let's leave it on the white one. So here, it's got a bunch of stuff. Now remember, if I was to edit the last page to make reference to different events which have taken place, we can actually rewrite this entire book and oh, you've just made another one. See, that's the difference. The difference is that, unlike other story writing techniques, we only have to edit our last page and then have the AI write backwards to the start again. And as I say, by altering any of these files, we've got dynamic local rag. Okay, that's what we've got. It's dynamic local rag. Okay, all of the characters are defined, the speech styles are defined, the world could be more defined. That's the only thing that's a bit vague. Ghostwriting style can be tuned. You can change the code in there. Narrative spittoon can be tuned. You can change that too. All of these files were generated, so you could curate them, edit them, or write your own. All right. So it's a framework. We invoke the JSON that lists all of these files and what they are. That defines. This is like a law book, you know. This is like a law book. It defines everything. So, you know, like if this was based on Halo, you'd have like humans, the military, the Covenant. You know what I mean? They'd have different files for every single thing, and then you'd have like relationships. You know, you can go to town. The more you do, the better it gets. Okay. And then, like I said, the beauty of this is, if you're trying to project infinitely into the future, eventually it collapses. We've all seen it, right? But if you're just trying to go one bridge back, one page back, it can do that. It doesn't collapse. Okay. Let's see. The first book is important, so it will give more confidence. Yeah, do you know what I've been thinking lately? Do you know what the irony is? I've been trying to write a short story book. So basically like a volume of short stories that are all in the same universe. And the problem I've got now is the books are too long. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, it's a bunch of repetitive garbage that just pads it out. I mean like, the story is legitimately over 160 pages. So I'm like, even if I edit this down, it's still really long. And this is why I'm saying that you should probably use the 20-page template and then use my upscaler. That's probably, like I said, it's getting to the point now where I'm thinking if I want to truly write these short stories, I'm going to have to do a 5-page template. I'll have to do I didn't think that would work. I didn't think it would be enough. But the amount that it upscales is insane. I wonder if I could give you an example. Yes, I can. So, did I upscale? I don't know if I upscaled this one. Let me check. I think I did. So, Xenon 1 was the first short story I wanted to write. And it ended up being 112 pages and 46,000 words. Right? And then I wrote book 2, which is Johan 1, introducing the corridor. And this one was 146 pages and 78,000 words. So, and just for the record, I've been working on like the writing that went into these 2 books. I've been working on this since 2017, 2016. It's going on 9 years. But the thing is, it was so much notes. I'd only actually written 2 books in the whole time, and I think I only published 1 of them, right? And to be honest, that's a draft. It's not even finished. I published the draft anyway, though, because you know me. I publish stuff which I work on. So it's like, what was it? I published the unedited version so that you could see what it actually looked like before the human edit comes in, right? So there is actually a unedited, fully AI generated version of Johan 1. Anyway, it's already linked. I think you can buy it actually. But the thing is that this is actually much better. It's been 18 months and now it's much better. So much better. Like if I actually look at this, if you look at this text here, it looks fine. I haven't even edited it yet. Do you know what I mean? I haven't even edited it yet. The only thing I noticed, which is quite interesting, is it says the word light 800 times. And I don't know if that's normal. Okay. It's like light, 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 light. Because remember, I was adding lighting information in the upscaling side of things, right? Lighting, slightly, lights, lighting, running lights, relax slightly, dropped slightly, slightly, light, lights, ambient lights, lights of patrol ships. Yeah, 800 times. It's like, oh, the lighting, the lighting, the lighting, the lighting, the lights, the lights. Slightly, the lights were slightly lighting. I need to fill out the page, guys, you know. So yeah, that was brilliant. I thought it was funny. But this is the sort of but this is why you've got to read it. Yeah, just read it. And the thing is, look, here, I'll show you. See, I'm working on a thesaurus agent. You're going to love that guy. So here we go. Thesaurus. Okay, thesaurus, right? Let's see. Let's see. What could we do with lighting? What could we do with lighting? Brilliance, flame, burning. No. It's gonna be these, isn't it? Flame. No, brilliance. The brightness. So we're gonna teach him to use a freaking thesaurus because he keeps repeating the same word. But yeah, one of my analysis tools. It's going to search for repetitive words, and we do a page-by-page search. So the new prompts will get added to the prompts folder. All right. I'm going to make a default prompt on this one as well, because, like I said, I think this would be our default 20-page. Because then you can just run it out the box. Yeah, save that. Back here, because like I said, it was annoying that you had to do all this work to be able to use it. So I'm gonna go prompts and a new one, and it's gonna be 20-page story.text, and we'll say at the beginning default. So use that one and see how it's already hooked up. It's already hooked up to just work. And then what I'll do is I'll make sure that the page 20 we just used goes out. Do you know what I mean? The page 20, that'll be up on the example. So then you can literally download this, run the default 20, and see how it works. And like I said, I'm going to include all of this info, because then you've got an actual live example, right? And then over this weekend, a new README will pop up on the repo that will have like a step-by-step, you know, how to run the default, how to create your own, how to build your own artifacts, how to get the extra artifacts. Because the thing is, right, you could be, look, I don't recommend it because you don't, as an educator, I've got to try and be like, this is for your work. But for the purposes of education, you could take a sample of something that's more well known, let's say, and you could throw that in here, right? I would actually recommend doing it in a more transformative way, like take Ghostbusters and Star Trek and put them together. I don't know, something, right? Combinations are usually easier to justify, right? But my point is that it'll teach you how the system works. All of this stuff is just trying to make it easy to use. The reality is, the trick, the core trick is simply, we get him to write it backwards a page at a time. That's it. We get him to run it a page at a time. What GPU do I have for local comfy run? Okay, so I have a 4090 because I work professionally in AI. You gotta have 24 gigs. But with the model that we're actually running right now, okay, let's see if I can get this up here. So with the model that we're running right now, this is Hunyuan video, image to video in GGUF, and if I show you up here, we're running 720p in Q8, okay? If I go over to my article on this, yeah, you'll see here, see that? So Q8 for 16 gigabyte, Q5KM for 12 gigabyte, Q4KM for 8 gigabyte or less. You might have to just take Q4 if you can't run that. But, you know, what we're doing, it'll run on all of them. That's one thing I really try to do if possible. Maybe a 6 is too small. Do you know what? A 6 gig's probably too small. But yeah, so direct answering the question, I've got a 4090 24 gigabyte. But most of the stuff I do is trying to get between 8 and 12 gigabytes, you know, for this sort of thing. So I hope that answers your question and more. I don't know if we're going to have time for all this extra stuff we wanted to do tonight, you know. Let's allow this to keep running. So if we finish this, yeah, we finished the book. Oh wow, it did a page, yeah, page 0. The moon hung low over Westwick Harbour, its cratered surface reflecting on the dark waters that had claimed half the city decades ago. Pretty cool. Let's see if my trick works then. Hang on. So here's page 19. Page 19 ends here. I paid the driver and stepped out, feeling the weight of the night pressing down on me. Sometimes in Westwick, solving crime is just the beginning of the mystery. Now that could be the end of the book. It could. That could be the end. There is nothing of value on this page. Wait, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The reason is because I thought that I'd just done one prompt there. But I forgot that we generated an entire page based on our book, so I'm wrong. But yeah, bottom line, guys, what I'll do is I would upscale all of this, right? Like I said, I've showed you guys the upscaling prompt before. It's a context-aware, non-destructive narrative upscaler. It's just a prompt. So I use page expansion v2. So we will expand page 0 by adding more information that describes the environment in great detail. Speech will be preserved. No story changes will be made. Read the page, expand the text by, and you could change that number too, but I find 200 is actually more like 1,000 sometimes. So I think it's just an idea rather than an actual value, right? It's an idea. 200% is just an idea, guys. Adding environmental details, weather, time of day, lighting, or remarkable sights. Now, this is the bit. That's why I think it adds lighting so much. So maybe I should say lighting or remarkable sights without using the word lighting. You got to get him to stop repeating himself, but it's an AI, right? So these are the things that you have to watch out for. That's why you have to edit. You have to do the human edit. All it is reading it. But do this. Read it on a computer, listening to some tunes. Why? Because you'll pile through, and every time you see a mistake, edit it right there. But I would recommend reading it once first, and then on the second read, edit it, because otherwise you might screw yourself up deleting something you need a few pages later. Right. Illumination. Yeah, we should say illumination. Yeah. But again, like I said, I'm going to keep bringing out these prompts. As I refine my process, everybody benefits. And if you guys have some great ideas, we can test them out and maybe add them too. So... But yeah, this is a cool story. This is going to actually get done. See, the one I did yesterday wasn't that great. The one I did yesterday was just kind of so hapdash. We put a bit of thought into this one. See, what I did was I tried to drop 3 new characters into one of my previous worlds. And it was a bit... I don't know, guys. But then again, you know, if you half... Well, I wouldn't... It was half-cocked. Let's say that. Atmosphere. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Illumination. All remarkable sights. Okay. While avoiding repetition. How about that? Add details describing the scenes and locations with contextual awareness. How about occasionally focus on an insignificant object and describe it with intimate detail? I'm not sure if intimate is the right word. Add visual. No. With high fidelity. That's not how you spell fidelity. Okay, occasionally focus on an insignificant object and describe it with obsessed fidelity. Obsessive. Uh 50% of the time, focus on an insignificant object in the page and describe it with incredible level of fidelity. In fact, not 50% of the time. What about like... This is insane what I'm doing right now. I don't know if it's a good idea. We'll test it. I won't do... almost always. I'm going to say focus first. Just test the first part of this. Let's try with page 0 and see what happens. I want to see what happens on this now. You got me curious. So this will be story. Story page 00. There. And then this is default project. So it's default, so page 00, default project and D00, and I've added a bunch of stuff. Let's see what, oh, there is another one. There. Right, let's see how it gets on. I just want to see how obsessive he is, you know? So we'll probably want to actually look at this page real quick. So that's the page. The page is currently 8,200 characters, which is pretty big actually. It's this is pretty wordy. But as you can see, there's very little description of the environment or anything. It's all just business right now. Apart from saying like partially submerged, that's about the only thing. Gleaming towers. You know what I mean? Like if you were to pick out dark waters, gleaming towers, office window, there's not a lot here. Yeah? It's mostly just people, places, things happening, people talking, very, very, very little in the way of descriptive text. So, that's what this aims to fix. We're obviously going to mask all of the dialogue. Yeah, I think something which good writers do is they will occasionally start, like the Eagle. If you've ever read, right, maybe a bad example, Blade Runner the movie, in the book, in the novelization, there's a scene in the Big Pyramid when Deckard is interviewing the guy that owns the robot company, I forget his name, and it goes into great detail with the robot owl, which you barely get any of in the movie because you just kind of see it there and it blinks and that's that. You know what I mean? But in the book, it's like quite detailed. Obviously, yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, if you go describing things, it's like, again, with Blade Runner, the fish scale. Yeah, the fish scale he finds in the bathtub. And it turns out the snake scale was fake. He thinks it's a fish scale. Yeah? But it's not. It's actually... Anyway, I'm sure you've seen the movie. Great movie. But the point is, sometimes describing things that don't seem to mean much can be a setup for later. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Look, see the green? Dark green, untouched. Light green, additional. Yeah? You can't see it because it's all off the edge of the screen. It doesn't do screen wrap, word wrap until you tell it to. Okay, so we've nearly done... Oh! There we go. Boom. So now, what do we got now? 20,163. So we actually went up by a factor of 4. Okay, I think you can see the difference. I mean, it's like pretty obvious. You know? Yeah, this is now page 1, right? Look at that. It's beautiful. Look, we're still on page 1. There we go. Look at this. Tell me more about this missing security shift, Miss Hayes, and what exactly he took. The desk lamp cast my shadow large against the wall behind me, a silhouette that seemed to merge with the water strains in a grotesque Rorschach that might have been a man drowning, or a man finally finding solid ground. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. That's great. So anyway, I repeat the process with each page, and then we go into the review stage. So I hope to be explaining that part tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be doing more video generation as well. We got some really good videos out tonight. You got to see some of them in the background. What I'll obviously do is use my effects and then give them an upscale. So that's the plan. Ooh. That's pretty funky. I wonder what it's going to do with that. Well, there it is, guys. So let me see. Quick recap. New LTXV, new Hunyuan video, image to video, Everything's up. Articles to explain how to install it. New workflows. Everything's up there. You could have just git clone update the DJZ workflows. That's what I do. And tomorrow, more spittoon inversion. I'm telling you, you spit all your plot into the spittoon and then you turn it upside down and see what falls out. Honestly, the hardest part is going to be the edit, because we're actually going to be writing big boy length books now. A year and a half ago, it was like hard to get to the size of a novella. Now, it's like, damn, it's too long. The sphere is the 3D model of the one that's infinite. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is an infinite fractal. So the idea is that these little ones have the same one inside, and it just goes in forever and ever and ever. Ooh, yeah. This is going to make some really cool stuff for the music videos. All we got to do is generate all of this. Like, I might just leave it generating this overnight. Just look, random. I've got like 150 images in there that are all tagged. So I might just look, and the tag's good. Look how good this tag is. QuenVL, baby. And so what I'll do is I'm just gonna leave this on instant all night. And then tomorrow, my office will have burned to the ground. No, I'm joking. By tomorrow, I will have like hundreds of videos. And what we'll do tomorrow is we will do the first half of the live show. We'll be dealing with audio reactive with all of these beautiful videos that we can just pull out of a hat, right? And then the second half will be more writing, because the thing is, what do you do when you get to the end of upscaling the whole thing? Well, you could read it and edit it, but I think that we can do some more stuff. So I'm going to show you how to use the other functions in the holographic tutor. So you can summon your creative writing professor and have him give you some pointers. So that's the plan. And with that, it's 9:30 on a Friday, so I'm going to let everyone finish early. How's that, guys? It's like a proper little art club, this is, I tell you. All right. That's it, ladies and gents. I'm getting up out of here. Thank you so much for coming along. We'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place, 7 GMT or 1900 GMT, whatever you want. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow.